everybody, Retro Gaming Ninja here again. We actually finally got our part in for our Sega Nomad, so let's go ahead and finish that up today. Let's get him taken apart, and we're going to desolder the old power jack, and then we're going to go from there. Using our long Phillips head, take these screws back out. These screws are recessed pretty far down inside these screw wells. If you hear any background noise, I actually film in my garage at my workbench, and my neighbors decided today, since it's about 70 degrees in February, that it is time to mow their yard for the first time in 6+ months. So I apologize if you hear any background noise of a lawnmower going, but I do want to say happy leap day to everybody. Day only comes around once every 4 years, February 29th, one extra day of the year. Why don't we make the year a little bit longer? This last screw is a security bit screw. Make sure I got him down all the way. I think I got him. He's just not coming out with the magnet. Let's see if we can get him this way. You can probably hear that lawnmower right now. Alright, let's go ahead and see if we can crack her open. There we go. Now remember, inside the Nomad there is a ribbon cable here that connects the card slot to the main board. So we just simply slide down these little black connector, and that ribbon cable does come right out of there. Be gentle with that. And here's that security bit screw that just came out. I'll try to zoom in and give you guys a heads up, show you what we're going to do over here on the power jack once we get everything out of here. We have a couple screws we have to take off the motherboard, one here. Like so. We have one here about the ribbon cable. There we go. We have one here down by the, I think this might be the volume or the contrast wheel. There's going to be one right here. And one right here. I think there's only 5 of them. These two you don't have to take out. So we'll just lift up. I'll take your slider off the power once we get to that. Oh, let's take this guy off first here. Right there. And then he comes right out. And then what we're going to do is also take off the speaker, which is right here. Alright, and then take our power slider off right there. So there you go. Move this to the side. Get you guys down in here so you can see what we're going to do. Alright. And my neighbors have a loud dog. So right here, we're going to desolder these 3 points and remove our power jack. First, we're going to move this cable here out of the way, because we do not want to melt that. And it's kind of tucked in behind this capacitor here. So I just kind of bend it up out of the way. You can unplug it right here if you wish. It does make it a little more difficult to plug back in if you do. So you unplug it just like that and kind of move it down out of the way so it doesn't get any heat. I'll say move it down out of the way. It doesn't want to move that out of the way. There, we'll put it right there. Either way, keep it out of the way. Alright, so make sure you guys can see where we're working right here. And now we're starting the weed eating over there, so I apologize ahead of time. Make sure you guys can see good. There you go. Alright, so we're going to take our solder sucker, soldering iron. We're going to get down in here and we're going to start removing these pieces. Heat up the connection. Put your sucker on there and take it out just like that. Heat up the connection. Let it get nice and hot. There you go. Heat it up. There you go. Let it heat up. Take your time. You don't want to burn the board, but you don't want to make a mistake either. Alright. I'm going to go back and hit this one just a little bit more here. There we go. This one a little bit more. And then we'll come in over here and we'll hit this one a little bit. Like so. Alright, let's take a look. See what we got. So it looks like the ends of the actual jack were twisted. So I'm just taking some flush cutters here. I'm just going to cut it flush. That way I can get back in there, go back down in there and try to get the rest of that solder out of there. A little bit of I don't have any of the fancy desoldering irons. I have to use this old pump method. And it works most of the time. Alright. Let's see if we can get anywhere here. What I'm doing is putting some heat on it and just pushing a little bit. Just to see if I can loosen it out of there a little bit. That back one's still got quite a bit of solder on it, so we'll put some heat down on him. He's moving freely now. Some heat down on this one. I think I got him that time. And a little heat down on this one. Alright, let's see what we got. Yep, hot. It's definitely hot. Definitely being a little bit stubborn. So we're gonna kind of put a little bit of pressure on it here. Try not to put too much pressure on it. Trying to stay safe here, away from my screen. let's get that cleaned up and look at those pads here and make sure we didn't damage anything. Then we'll do some soldering and some testing. Clean my iron up a little bit. Alright. So there's the old one. Right there. And it's pretty worn out there in the center. There's some alcohol. Get that cleaned up, and then we'll probably hit the pads a couple more. I probably need to change my tip on my soldering iron a little bit, just so I can see if I can get autofocus to work today. Change the tip on my soldering iron just so I can make sure I get down in these holes and get them really clean. Maybe pull some braid across it. Well, they look like they're pretty cleaned out. This side. Yeah. I'm hoping I didn't pull that whole trace off there. Right here. I see copper around these. I don't see copper around that one at all. Might be alright there. That one trace did come off. Yeah, I think I'm okay here with this. Number 3 pad definitely did come out with this pad here. Did come out with my power supply. The good news is, looking at the trace, it runs down this way, so I think I can jumper here once I get in. Alright, well, let's get this in there, get some new solder on it, see what we can do. Alright, so there's the new one. Yep, pretty good fit. Let's I'm going to put something underneath it here so I can make sure I got a good contact there, like that. You guys can't see that. Maybe I'll use the old one. Just want to make sure I got a little bit of pressure on it when I'm soldering. Alright. So, as you guys know, if you've watched any of my videos, I am not a professional. I've just recently started trying to do soldering. I have a trying to fix video that I'm going to try to get edited and put up on an Atari Lynx that I've been working on, and it didn't go real well. Bought a kit from Console 5 to recap it. Basically it worked, but what was happening was I would only get a screen when I had a picture when I had the power in, and no battery would not power on at all. And when I had the screen, if I so much as pressed the backlight or anything, the screen, I would lose my screen. It would go right off. So I thought, well, let's recap it. It's one of the things that do go bad. We need to do a recap. So I did a recap. Nothing. I got absolutely nothing then. I lost the screen, I lost everything. So then I decided I was going to work on the MOSFET. I was like, well, a lot of forums say, you know, the power goes bad. So check the MOSFET. So I did. I replaced the MOSFET. And nothing there either. So I got to a point to where I wasn't able to fix it. But I'm still going to put that video up because this was a learning experience for me. It's the first time I've ever capped anything. And I was very eager to try it. Let me check those joints real quick and see how we look. I don't have an eye loop or anything. I just use an old-fashioned magnifying glass. Okay, those look good. That one looks good. That one, that pad came off, oh, looks like it did. Connect over. And I think we're good. We'll give it a shot. I don't want to mess up my Nomad, but you know, I have to be able to play it too. The way it was, I couldn't play it at all because as soon as you move the power cable, you'd lose your picture and your game would restart. And I'm like, well, you know, I gotta be able to take care of that. So I'm gonna take and wipe this front screen off a little bit because I've had it out and probably hit it with my finger a couple times. The inside screen looks good, so we're not gonna jack with that too much. I'm gonna take one of these little alcohol wipes here. I'm just going to kind of go around the screen, make sure I get any dirt off of it. And then just slide it over the screen nice and smooth. Make sure you get your corners. Leaves no streaks, everything's clean. Corner to corner. Good. Then we're going to take our case again and our power supply, or power switch. I keep saying power supply. Put that back on. Tuck your cable back out of the way, like so. Let's lay him back down in here. Line up. Zoom me out so you can see what I'm doing. Okay. And line up the power switch and the edge of the screen. Nice and snug. Plug the cable back in you unplugged here. Then we're going to get the other half and plug our ribbon cable in. And then we'll give it a test. We'll just kind of seal it up without, you know, actually. I will say one thing about this ribbon cable, much easier than the Lynx ribbon cable. The Lynx ribbon cable, oh my god, guys. Those things are a nightmare. And I think that's kind of what happened to mine. Is I think I might have damaged the ribbon cable a little bit. And oh, okay. I was trying to figure out what was getting in the way, and it's the actual audio speaker plug here. So let's put that back in. So I'm open to, you know, any kind of feedback you guys got on soldering, tips for soldering, any of that, because like I said, I like fixing these guys. Normal fixes, you know, have been pretty straightforward and easy, but I'd like to get more detailed fixes, deep into fixing, you know, like recapping and things like that, but it just takes a lot of practice. So, Sonic 2, power cable. It's a very snug fit in there. tower. And there we go. There we go, guys. Look. I can move it around. I have Sonic the Hedgehog on screen now. The screen is not that great because it's the original screen. But I am thinking that I will probably replace that. But I am happy so far. I can touch the cord and the screen stays on. And like I said, it is working, and that's awesome. See if I can play a little bit. I'm kind of holding it at a weird angle here. But this screen definitely is notorious for shadows and blur. And it's kind of hard to play through this little viewfinder upside down, but I'm doing my best. Anyway, that worked. The replacement power jack from console 9, those guys are awesome. A little bit of desoldering and a little bit of solder, and here we are. So if you like this video, give me a like. If you have any feedback on the video, how to improve soldering skills, something I did that just drove you absolutely nuts, please let me know in the comments, because that's the only way I'm going to get better at doing this stuff. And as always, guys, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. I don't have a lot of content, and the content I have is not the best in the world because I'm just doing this as a hobby. But I really appreciate any of the views I get, whether it be 1 view or 1,000. They all mean a lot to me. Once again, have a great Leap Day. Enjoy it. It only comes once every 4 years. And we'll see you next time.